Welcome back in, everybody. Joined by Mike Quick, Seth Joyner, and Derek Gunn. Derek, and we were talking about this on Sports Take. Our show will be on tomorrow from 12 to 3, JAKIB Media YouTube Network. But, you know, some of the options here that are still there. I know you were kicking this around with Seth and Mike as well.
Yeah, you know, we were talking about how I see the Eagles filling out the roster, especially need a cornerback safety with low-tier veteran free agents. So I want to throw a few names at you guys that I threw at Rob and Barrett the other day. Trey Waynes, 29 years old. Now, he's bounced around. He was a first-round pick.
Yep.
He didn't stick, but he's 29, okay? I'm going to bypass Joe Hayden because he's 33 now. Okay, what about Kyle Fuller? He was a high commodity for a long time. Chris Harris, he's 32 now. Chris Harris was a thumper when he was in Denver. I mean, Janoris Jenkins, Jason Verrett, Kevin King, Xavier Rhodes, A.J. Boye. Now think about that. So there's some guys out there that are getting desperate. Yeah. Look at this, Vernon Hargraves.
Yeah.
He was considered one of the better corners not too long ago. Now, you know, we go over to the safety spot for just a minute. I'm going to try to pull this up here real quick. And
well, the obvious one is Honey Badger.
Honey Badger, the only thing I don't like about him is good of a player as he is, he's always hurt. He plays with such reckless abandon.
So true.
You know what I'm saying?
So true.
What can he give you? He
dead.
Doesn't benefit.
He's a really small guy.
Yes.
You don't know it until you see him up close and personal.
Yep.
I can remember the first time I saw him. I'm looking at him like, you the dude that be
That's
wrecking
that
all
dude.
this
That's that dude.
He is slight of frame.
Okay, we look at some of the safeties. Landon Collins is only 20. He was a first-round draft pick.
I like Landon Collins.
Tayshaun Gibson, DeShazer Everett.
I like him.
Chris Banjo. Going down the list here.
Yeah, we're getting.
So there's some names here that could fill the gap.
Yeah.
They may not be first-round caliber now, but they're proven commodities who can not only maybe hold down the fort, but help expedite the mental and physical capacity of some of the people they already have in house, the younger people.
And I think they played the long game with a lot of these guys, right?
Yeah.
Which we saw with Steven Nelson last year.
Yes.
You know, that it's just kind of waited out, see where you draft, then you have a better idea what your needs are. And if there aren't a lot of other teams knocking down the door for some of these guys, then okay, maybe get them at a discount rate.
Sure.
Well, the longer they stay on the market, the cheaper they're going to be.
Right. Exactly.
That's just a fact. The closer you get to, your OTAs, the closer you get to, training camp, the price is going to just drop.
Right.
So, you're playing, if you're playing the game the right way, but you're staying in contact with people, you can get a lot of value with some of these guys that are out there. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of players out there.
Yeah.
A lot of
desperate.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I don't really fret. I look at the positions where you do need a veteran guy or you're going to sign a free agent, and I know, as D Gunn just pointed out, that they are out there.
Yeah.
That you're going to be able to find quality free agents that can come in, and you have to really do your homework to make sure that they're fit for what you want to do.
Yes.
Because we've seen them bring in guys, and I thought when Nnamdi Asomugha, when they bought him from the Raiders, I thought, I didn't really know. I thought this guy was the greatest, just listening to everyone talk about him. Then the first day I'm out of training camp and I'm watching him move and I'm wondering, like, what the heck did they see that I don't see? Because I just didn't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rep was you just didn't throw at him. Like you were so, it was like Dion. You were so fearful.
I just
he didn't get a lot of picks because nobody even looked his way. With the rep was.
You know what the problem is, and this is my problem with organizations sometimes. Organizations look at other players in the free agent market. They look at what they've done and what they've accomplished in other places.
Yeah.
Right.
And they envision that player on their roster without paying attention to the details of what kind of player were you over here?
Does he fit
and
that
what
system?
are we going to ask you to do over here?
That's what Pittsburgh's great.
So we went and we got a Nnamdi Asomugha, who is one of the best man-to-man coverage corners, and we brought him to Philadelphia to be a zone corner. And he just lost his confidence. And once he lost his confidence, he lost interest.
Yep.
And then once he lost interest, he didn't want to be around anybody.
He was eating in his car.
He just decided to go eat lunch in his car.
Like Mike does. He has lunch in his car.
Listen, he was eating lunch in his car, but he was talking to, what's the lady's name he married?
Oh, geez, I don't know.
Kerry Washington.
There you go.
So he's sitting in the car. Listen, I wouldn't stay in the locker room with you knuckleheads when I can go sit in the car and talk to Kerry Washington.
It's a good option.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a good. I'm in the car talking to myself, Mike. So that kind of explains it.
Sometimes that's like, for me, that's a big deal when I'm looking at how teams evaluate.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because that's a free agent sign that's waiting to be just blow up in your face.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, if you don't have the wherewithal, as a GM, as a personnel guy, to evaluate what that guy's skill set is, like myself, you weren't going to take me and put me in a 30 front defense, Mike, and have me play in a 30 front defense all the time.
Right.
Now we ran it, and I could be the sandbacker in the 30 front defense. I could be the wheelbacker in the 30 front defense. But
not the steady diet.
But not a steady diet of it. I needed to be in the 4-3 front, or I need to be off the ball. That's how you were going to utilize me. Right. So if you and I saw it in different players. I saw it with Ray Lewis when they transitioned after they won their first Super Bowl. They went to a 4-3. They had to switch back because Ray couldn't operate in that system. I saw it with Derek, the pass rusher for the Kansas City Chiefs. Derek Thomas. Yeah. Okay, God rest his soul. Yeah. He had been a weak side 40-30 front defensive, outside backer his entire career. They went to Marty Schottenheimer comes in, they go to a 4-3, and he looks like a shell of himself. Yes. And they got to retransform their defense all over again. So a lot of it is just being able to understand, okay, how does that guy's skill set fit what we're trying to do? And if you get that wrong, you just made a major financial mistake.
All right, let me update you real quick.
I think one player who plays to what Seth is talking about that I kept saying absolutely not. When people were screaming, trade the capital, get Deebo Samuels in here.
Exactly.
Well, why? Because Kyle Shanahan is one of the best offensive minds in the game. And he saw something in Deebo to utilize all of his assets to make him what he is. Well, now Deebo wants wide receiver money, but he's not the so-called primary wide receiver. He's a jack of all trades. Who's to say he would do the same things in Nick Sirianni's offense?
Great point.
So if you give up great draft free capital and then turn around and give him a big contract, and if he doesn't live up to be in this offense, the same people who are screaming, get him here, give up a first-round draft pick, all of a sudden, a year later, Howie's the idiot. The organization is stupid for what they did.
If you're not bringing Kyle Shanahan with you, then you don't make that trade.
Exactly.
Because he's the one that's
right.
He's the one that's orchestrated.
Exactly.
Well, see what happened in San Francisco, Deebo, they needed him. So he becomes a team guy. I'm going to be a team guy. I'll do the running back duties as well as the wide receiver duty.
Yeah.
They lost what's the running back that we had in Philadelphia?
Mostert. Yeah.
Mostert. What's his name?
Mostert.
Raheem
Mostert. That's his name. We had Raheem Mostert in Philadelphia. He became their best running back.
Yes.
When they lost him, Deebo, I'm a team guy, and I'll running back. I'll do wide. He did a little bit of everything.
Right.
It ends up hurting him that he's a team guy. If you just play wide receiver, they have to pay you wide receiver money.
Sure.
Running backs, they're on the tail end of the food line now in the National Football League. They don't get the big dollars anymore.
Yep.
Offensive linemen make more money than the running backs because of the durability factor.
Well, they're going to have to pay him wide receiver money, and then continue to utilize him, as the Swiss Army knife that he is, because he's the most important piece to that offense. He's more important to their offense than George Kittle is.
John Lynch, the general manager out there, is not going to let anything happen to that asset. He will find a way to pay Deebo.
Amen. All right.